Hey, you're listening to Stop the Scroll, a social media marketing podcast, and I'm your host, Heidi Schmidt. I'm a social media strategist and agency owner with over 15 years of marketing experiences helping businesses grow online. We'll be diving into what you need to know so that you can show up confidently online without the overwhelm. Get your notebook ready to jot down some amazing marketing gems, and let's dive into it. Hello, my friends, and welcome back. I feel like I'm not doing so great at this every 2 weeks kind of thing, but I'm giving myself some grace because, the world feels heavy right now, and this is going to go live a couple weeks after I've recorded it. But if you know, you know. And if you're feeling heavy and marketing is just hard, I want you to know I see you. I see you. I've had so many conversations about that this week, about how do we keep going like there's nothing wrong in the world. And I'm going to not be super political here, but I'm going to be a little political here because we have to be, we are whole people. And I've mentioned before, I'm running for political office, and I was just on a call today about how I've really tried to keep those parts of my life siloed, like a Heidi business owner, marketing agency owner, social media strategist owner, and candidate Heidi. I've been trying to keep them very, very siloed. I don't think I want to do that anymore because it's exhausting. It's exhausting to pretend, on a whole big part of my life, because I do interweave, my big part of my platform is lifting up small businesses. That's huge passion of mine, having been involved in my local business association, that was huge for me. Because, I became a marketing agency owner, freelancer to start, because I wanted the flexibility. I wanted the ability to not be married to only 10 personal days off a year. I was tired of feeling like I wasn't getting ahead. I was tired of feeling like, what am I working for? I was exhausted by feeling like I had been doing the same thing. God, there's cat hair on my mic, and it's I guess I'm speaking so close to the mic that the cat hair is tickling my chin because normally, and this is total sidebar, normally my mic lives next to my windowsill, which is right next to my office. If you've ever seen one of my audiograms, which sometimes I post, I haven't been posting them lately, you can see that my desk is right next to my window, and my cats like to be up there because I'm a little bit, the insult of childless cat ladies. I'm not childless, but I am a cat lady, and I am unapologetic about it. That's all I'm going to say about that. But anyhow, back to kind of, I started my business because I was exhausted. And like many, many millennials will tell you, I am an elder millennial. And there has been a lot of just doing all the right things and not getting a lot in return. So stagnant salaries, companies that just try to milk every ounce of energy out of you. So when I lost my job at the start of COVID, I decided that I wanted flexibility. And, now I work all the time. But I work all the time at hours that I want to work. It's a trade-off. I kid, I don't work all the time. I like the flexibility that I have when I'm able to take it. And we're working on that. It's a lot. It's a lot to own a business. But anyhow. So the world feels heavy for a lot of us, and it's how do you go on as marketing as usual? So I've been having all these conversations about how the world feels heavy and how do we show up? And first of all, if you're listening to this and that resonates with you, holy shit, how do I keep going on and on when the world feels heavy, when literally people are dying in the streets at the hands of the United States government? Because that's really, that's very nuanced, regardless of what you think, that's top level what's happening in cities like Minneapolis. And how do we keep going on with business as usual with just ignoring that? Because for some of us, we can't. Some of us take the news really to heart, while other people, try to focus on other things. And I think It's fine however you ingest news, however your news diet. I hope that we're all kind of staying aware and have a diverse news diet instead of just the echo chambers of social media. But I wanted to kind of come on here today, and I'm going to not be on a soapbox here. And if it sounds like I am, I apologize. That is not at all my intention. One, it's okay to share your feelings on your social media as a business owner. If you alienate people, that's their choice. You're either going to alienate people, or by not talking about how you feel, you're going to alienate people because they're going to be like, well, they don't give a shit. There is something to be said when we show up relatably, especially for solopreneurs. I know that a lot of solopreneurs listen to me. When we share how things are going, it's that behind the scenes content that really builds that connection, right? That builds that connection, that builds that trust. So you can be apolitical, but you can say, hey, to a lot of your followers, it may not be apolitical. And they may want you to stand up and say, hey, if the world feels heavy right now, I see you. And literally, one of my clients did that in a Facebook group of hers, and oh no, some biscuit. Sorry, last week I was at a retreat and I bought this little bunny to hang on my desk, my little monitor. He hangs, and it fell when I was plugging in my headphones behind my monitor, and his ear broke. No, womp womp. Anyhow, a lot of us are seeking that connection right now. Literally, I saw someone post something on Facebook, and I reached out and I was like, hey, I would love to support you with this endeavor. Can we grab coffee? By the way, I'm also running for state delegate, just for full transparency. But her and I weren't necessarily super in line politically, but we had such a good conversation. And I think that's what we're all kind of exhausted over, right? We've had basically 5 years of overconsumption. We've had, COVID and the elections and echo chambers and just feeling exhausted. There was an article that I read this week that I shared with a mastermind that I'm in that it's national trauma. and all of it, regardless of how you're impacted, worrying about how you're going to pay an electric bill is kind of a little bit of it's emotional exhaustion, right? And I think we as business owners are allowed to show up in a way that shows our audiences that we're feeling it too, And it's okay to take a break. It's okay. I'm telling you right now, it's okay. You don't have to post every day. It's okay. It's okay. There is, for the past, this entire week that I'm recording this, so kind of when I'm recording it, it's the last week of January. Here in Maryland, we've been iced in, literally iced in for the past week. Going on a week. I'm tired. We were on my son has virtual therapy, and we were talking with his therapist, who is absolutely lovely. And we were saying, how challenging it's been because we haven't been in routines in really a month. Because let's be honest, I had the flu the week before Christmas, and then my husband and my son also got the flu the end of that week. And then we all recovered just in time for Christmas. And then we traveled to see my in-laws. And then we came back and we got back to school. And literally my kid was in school for a full week. Then he had a short week. And then he had another short week. And then we had a snowstorm. We have not been in a normal routine since mid-December. So I am the first to say that I have woefully neglected my own marketing. But I'm also giving myself a lot of grace. And I think we as business owners, we are allowed to give each other grace, to give ourselves grace, to stop the pressure of if you don't want to grow because you're I'm barely got my head above water, I got to work on whatever in my business, that's okay. I had a chat with a client, and this might be my next podcast that I record, but she's a consulting client and I absolutely adore her. And we're talking about her new website. And I was like, your website should do more than just show up. Your marketing should do more because she has a company kind of doing like, a little bit of content mill, generic posts for her industry. And I told her today, I was like, your marketing, regardless of who you use, what you do, who you pay, should do more than simply like keep you present, right? And I think that kind of goes back to it. And we're allowed to have, we obviously all have marketing goals for our businesses, but we're also allowed to like adjust those. Like if you set a monthly goal, like say, I'm going to use an example and I'm going to think about February. Like February, I would love to book a couple of strategy sessions because in March, I'm going away for like a week with my mom and my sister. And so I don't want to be like onboarding a new client really until after that. Consulting clients, 100%. I could take on 1 to 2 consulting clients, but really like let's do those one-off strategy sessions. I think that's my focus for the next month. And then when I get back, I'd love to launch another masterclass. I've kind of rethought it. I learned a lot of lessons. That's my plan. So what do I need to do? Even if it's the bare minimum, what do I need to do to get there? And this week, I really kind of like reinvested in my own strategy because I have literally been the children of the cobbler and have not prioritized time into marketing myself. I have showed up on my campaign page pretty consistently, and I'm really dang proud of that. And, I'm showing up everywhere in the community, and I'm really dang proud of that too. I want you to know that, like, if you feel like you can't show up, like, it's okay also to take a step back. And when you come back, you can also explain it. Or you don't have to. You can just be like, hey, I need a mental health break, and I needed a social media break. But, like, I think about, like, The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell. I've been thinking about this a lot lately. The little things that kind of set off wildfire changes, So I kind of think about it from a business perspective, and it's been a really flippin' long time since I've read that book. I probably need to reread it because I'm probably like way off the mark here. But I think about it like every little thing I do each day, whether it's today, I only have it in me to post an Instagram story. Or today, you know what? I don't have it in me, but I'm going to republish a reel that I published 4 months ago. Today, all I have in me is to record a podcast. Every little thing helps move me towards those marketing goals, right? And I think about, our marketing, like I said, like I told my client, should do more than simply help you show up. People still need a reason to connect with you and to buy from you. So you still need to show up authentically. Like if you're just like outsourcing your social media to $100 a month content mill, what is it actually doing for you other than posting to your Facebook page once a day? Sit with that. Versus, hey, I feel like the posts that I'm doing now are actually getting us out in the community, getting us some community recognition, getting us all of these things that we really want that are really going to drive our name forward. Like, another client who's like, our brand awareness is certainly up. And I'm like, great. Literally, we have 3x his followers in a year. That's pretty incredible, right? So think about like what you're doing to move, even if it's a baby step, even if it's just like, you know what, I'm just going to send an email today. There are tools out there that can help you piece together a plan that even on the days when you just want to be like a dead bug on a rug or curl up in a small fetal ball and wonder, where did we go so wrong as a nation? And I apologize to everyone who doesn't think that we have gone wrong as a nation. I kind of think that we are not on the right direction, but that's neither here nor there. Whatever. If you know me, you know my politics. And that's that. We can agree to disagree. And happy to have a polite conversation about it with anyone. So I kind of like brainstorm, like, what does this low energy plan look like, right? What is a plan that even on the weeks when I'm like, God, I can't even do anything, what does that look like? Well, first of all, I'm going to start with this. Failing to plan is planning to fail. That is not my quote, but I use it a lot. Having those goals for your business, for your month, for your week, for your year, whatever it is, like setting goals for yourself is so important in the sense that every little step you take towards those goals is going to move you one step closer to where you want to be. Whether you are building your brand awareness, whether it's like, hey, I can't really, I'm going to tell you, my pipeline for my leads is a little dry right now. But you know what? I have no one to blame except myself. And when I look over the past month, I'm like, well, I just got to reactivate my email list. So this week I was like, I'm going to send an email. And I did. I just need to put myself out there. I just need to start showing up, even if it's just twice a week. I just got to start showing up. And literally, I forget who I was telling. I was like, I've got like half a dozen to a dozen captions written in Loomly, and they're missing graphics. My new marketing assistant is going to help me with that, and I'm so excited to have her. I'm thrilled. Marketing assistant, content creator, whatever you want to call her. Thrilled. So, my low energy concept plan is something like, take 10 minutes once a day to put together a post or an Instagram story. If you've got 20 minutes, like maybe just jot down your captions for the week. And then each morning, then you take your 10 minutes and you add a graphic or a quick reel with something that you already have, whatever that looks like. And then maybe once a month, you have like a 45-minute to an hour content date where you kind of map things out, like, what do I want to talk about on my podcast? What do I want to send emails about? What are my priorities? And this is where like having a strategy and having a calendar, having a calendar of, okay, I know this is happening on this date, or this seasonal thing is happening, and I need to do both of those things. So like it's feasible and it doesn't feel overwhelming, because so often, and I hear this from so many business owners, that marketing is just overwhelming. And I love that my consulting client literally told me today, she's like, I love that you give me homework, because I feel like I'm doing something to move myself forward, even if it feels slow. So like this week, she is working on getting her email list set up. She's still working. She's had some website issues, so her website's still down. So she's moving that. And I told her, I was like, you know what? If we need a quick win, why don't we run Facebook ads? I'll pull your targeting and give you a small budget and be like, hey, this is what we should do. So there is a way to ask for help. Like, if you're not ready to outsource, like, that's what consulting is for. We do it with you and we tell you what to do. Or like I just did in my mastermind today, like, hey, you two want to do email marketing? Like, let's have a co-working date, like once every other week or something like that. I don't know what it's going to look like, but like, let's hold each other accountable. Like, find an accountability buddy. But like, all of these things, all of these little actions lead up to that big action, right? So that even when the world feels heavy and we're like, holy shit, I can't show up, but I need to do something, like, you can still take little actions. And again, I'm going to give you permission, because the thing that's performing on Instagram right now is so much the relatable content. And I've seen so many creators and social media managers being like, it's okay to talk about how you're feeling with the world. And you know what? I 100% agree with them. And if you disagree with me and you think I'm, whatever, crazy, probably, crazy liberal, whatever you want to call me, that's okay. Not everyone is going to agree with everyone else. We are a house divided, if you will. And I don't want to feed into all of that, but I think it's okay to acknowledge how things feel. And winter is just hard. Can we just talk about how hard winter is? Like, I'm recording this in the early evening, and I gotta say, I'm grateful that it's 5:45 and I can still see a sliver of the sunset, because that means spring is coming, my friends. Spring is coming, and spring means sunshine and happiness and warmth, and holy heck, let's get out of this tundra. I think that's something that we can all agree on, right? But it's hard when you're stuck inside and you feel like you're just doom scrolling, and then you get into the comparison trap of, oh, everyone else is doing better than me. And that's a whole other episode of, I've talked about it before, and if I can find the episode, I will link it in the show notes. But yeah, a friend of mine recently told me that running for political office is going to expose every insecurity that you have. And I would say that running a business also can expose every insecurity that you have. Especially, I've talked with business owners who have been bullied before by people in their industry. And I've talked to, it's easy for me to get in that comparison trap that makes it hard to show up also, because everyone who's ever bought themselves 10,000 followers by doing whatever, they are suddenly a marketing expert. And I would tend to disagree with that. But anyhow, so I think we're good for here. I think we're going to leave it there. You have permission to pause. You have permission to talk about how the world is impacting your mental health as a business owner. You have permission to step back from your marketing, to take the baby steps, to do the bare minimum. We have to give ourselves grace as business owners. And so, with that, if this resonated with you, please subscribe, leave a review, connect with me on Instagram at Heidi Schmidt Creative. I would love to support you, lift you up, cheer you on from afar, all of the fun things. And I am going to link to, because I'm not going to keep things siloed, I will link to my campaign Instagram account. This is not paid for by my campaign. I'm not soliciting any donations or anything, but if you want to follow along the campaign trail, I have a Substack and I have my Instagram, and you are welcome to follow along. So in the meantime, go forth, be relatable, be authentic, create amazing content that stops the scroll, and until next time, I'm rooting for you.